me right now, Republican Conference Vice Chair, Representative Doug Collins. Representative Collins, welcome. Good to have you here.
Glad to be here. How are you today?
I'm very good. What do you think is really going to change right now as you guys debate all this? What are the things? You heard how I feel about the private equity loophole that still exists. Is that still up for some reshaping?
Yeah, I was really wondering there for a moment, what your position was on that. But
now you know.
No, I get it. I'm with you on that. I think that's something that, look, this is, I want to go back for just a second. It's easy right now to take and say, here's the shots, here's what I don't like from the initial bill. But we're also doing something up here that is a little bit foreign to Capitol Hill. It's something that we just need to take a step back, and that is we've introduced a bill. We said, here's the starting point. We're having a markup through this week. The markup is going to give members on both sides a chance to say, here's what we like and not like, and actually vote on it. So I think carried interest provisions, these other interests are going to get debated. They're going to get moved around, taken out, all encompassing in the scoring issue that we have to deal with the Senate. And I think at the end of the day, you're going to see changes as it comes about. But I think this is a good thing.
No, it's a healthy process. I hear it gives everybody a chance to vent a little, including myself.
Exactly.
There's also a lot of good stuff in there, and I don't want that to get lost in my criticism here, but there's a lot of really good stuff that I think, Representative, could make a real change in the economy and how much money people have, because as you well know, Americans just haven't gotten a raise in years.
Oh, exactly. When you start looking at this thing overall, and that's what we've tried to tell everybody, is say, look, before you go to your pet project or you go to your pet industry, look at it overall. And what we've actually had is several businesses who, like late last week, said, oh, this is maybe a problem. They came back and said, okay, wait, we've looked at it overall, we're okay. But when you start talking about the tentacles, really, and I break it down to simplicity from my part. When I have families and the tentacles of the IRS are being removed from their pocketbook, when we're putting more money back in their check every month, and that they don't owe to the government, then they have the ability to then spend the money the way they want to. They have a chance to make those dreams, to make those applications to their own family situation. You have businesses who no longer have to worry about what do I have to do to plan to work a tax problem instead of hiring somebody or buying a new piece of capital equipment, buying something that actually stimulates our economy. You're exactly right. Those are the things that we need to focus on.
No, I love those things. I think that that's going to be very helpful. Let me ask you about state and local taxes. You probably heard the soundbite we played earlier of Senator Cruz talking about his concerns because some Americans would be paying more as a result of the states they live in. Now, the flip side of that is, well, if you don't like it, I keep quoting Warren Buffett. What was the expression? You can tell who's swimming naked when the tide goes out.
Exactly.
The tide's going to go out for some of these states like California, like New York, and if they can't make ends meet, well, then that's going to be very much exposed during all of this. But how do you feel about SALT, and is there wiggle room there, sir?
Well, I think there's going to be some adjustments made to at least, look at that issue from a perspective of these states. But also, it's really something interesting. I read, and heard some talking about that the federal government is the protection for their citizens against their state. Well, how about the folks in those same states start electing officials who respect their pocketbook? And if they're not respecting their pocketbook enough to continue to raise rates, and just in California, just did on the gas tax just this past, week or two, these are the kind of things that we need to look at in the overall picture. And what we have found, though, is again, when you look at AMT, the alternative minimum being taken away, you look at the other, the increase in the standard deduction, you look at the fact that only 30% actually itemize, and we're looking at a bill that maybe drops that down to the single digits of itemization. We're actually getting to a point where people will be better off with that, and they'll look at the areas where that's a little bit higher income or a differential, and I think they're working on to make that better. But again, let's look at the entire picture of the economy. Just think about this for just a second. We get this tax bill passed for individuals and corporates, and then we look ahead to 4% GDP, 3.5% GDP. At that point in time, a lot of things get better.
Hey, look, Representative, I agree with you. When the economy is doing well and people have a chance to provide for their families and they think positively about the future and their children's future, it solves a whole lot of these other issues. Hey, 4%, you think it could happen?
I think good. We do something like this, and the president's been behind it. We're supportive of Donald Trump's vision, and we're supportive here on the Capitol Hill because this is what we came here to do, and that is transform the way our country works. We've seen what it can do. Let's now put it back to work for the American people.
Good luck with it. And Congressman, look at that private equity loophole, if you would, sir.
They're going to work on it. Thanks, Jim.
Good to see you. Thank you very much.